Guys,
How are you?
Good.
You getting some work inside?
Yeah, definitely. So cross training right now, still sticking to the right side. I'm doing a little bit of right guard, right tackle, but yeah, started about 2 days ago working inside, but I did a little bit in the spring, so kind of bouncing back and forth right now.
Is that just purely to have some answers in case something happens with last year in mind, just for the offensive line as a whole with all the attrition, or is there?
Yes, sir. So definitely, I mean, every year we got to find the best five in the next five. So seeing who the best five available is. And at the same time, you know, in recent years, we found a five that can go out there, but haven't had a five that can run out there next if somebody gets hurt or goes down. So right now we're just kind of cross-training everybody, see what happens. I mean, day one I might go out there guard, might go out there tackle, so just see how it shakes out.
Is there a little different feel to the offensive line this year with Thomas?
Definitely. So, I mean, I wouldn't really say there was a bad feel last year. You know, we still have the same mentality, same grind them up, you know, nose to the grindstone, run them in the dirt, like, you know, iron mentality. But, you know, definitely coming together a little bit more, bonding as we get older. So last year I think the problem that we had was inexperience. You know, we have the guys that have talent, including myself, but we went out there September 4th and we weren't ready. You know, that doesn't make us bad players, but we had a bad game. So I learned how to bounce back from that, but now we know what it takes. We've been through a season. We know how to work hard, train hard, practice hard. So just building on that and growing on that and keep developing. So I think it's just going to keep adding up.
So was it your idea to move inside some, or was that Thomas's idea, or how did that sort of come about?
A little bit of both, honestly. So, I mean, he brought it up to me in meetings, but, you know, I'm not opposed to anything. I'll play right, left, tackle, guard, center. I'll play whatever they need. So they brought it up, and I said, yeah, I'm game. So like I said, just cross-train a little bit in case something happens, or I might go out there first. You never know. See who that best five is.
If Blake is to your right, that must mean there's some pretty good confidence in him at this stage. What's your observations of how quickly he's sort of picked things up and how much confidence there is in him?
Definitely. So Blake came in January, and we had to check his birth certificate because we thought he was like 25 years old. That might be the most developed freshman we've ever seen. I mean, coming in, outlifting dudes, outrunning dudes. So Blake is more than ready. Maybe not for game day right now, but he's going to be more than ready. Blake's a great player, great kid. He's smart, picks things up fast, and he's physical, extremely physical. So more than confident. If he runs out there on day one, there's no issue with that. We're more than confident in Blake Miller.
You added some weight.
Definitely.
Are you happy with it, and why?
Great, yeah, definitely happy with it. You know, like we're talking about, if I move inside and play a little bit of right guard, I got my weight up. So last season, when I came into camp at about 305, didn't really know how to take care of my body, didn't know how to keep that weight on, so lost the weight. I was playing during the season, bouncing back probably like 300, 297 in that little window right there. Right now, I'm about 312, 315, bouncing back in that window right now. So learning how to manage my weight, and definitely if I move inside, need to be heavier, and even on the edge, need to be heavier to handle my own. You know, as long as I keep working on my quickness, don't lose my speed, can still get blocks out in space, move my feet fast. You know, I think the more weight, the better, as long as it's lean mass, which it is. So I feel a lot better, heavier.
I guess being inside, you'd be right next to Will Putnam. Obviously,
Yes,
he's transitioning from guard to center. I mean, how would you say he's worked, I guess, in that spot?
I think he's done really good. So we've had, I think we're on like day 7 of practice. I think he's had one bad snap, and it was my fault because I made a late call in the cadence. Or in the cadence, I made a call, so he messed up the snap. So he really hasn't had any bad snaps. And in high school, he was a 2-time state champion wrestler, so he's kind of used to being that one-on-one guy, especially if we go against like an Okie front, he's got a guy head up. You know, he's ready for that. He's built for that. He's done it 100 times. So I think him moving to center was a really good transition for him.
I guess why do you think you fit a guard if you end up playing?
You know, I think I fit a guard because I can fit anywhere they'll put me. You know, my technique is a little bit sloppy right now because I haven't played it. I'm used to tackle over the last few years. But, you know, I mean, I can play whatever they put me at. I'll watch the film and learn it. And I think right now the best thing is Blake came in at right tackle. So if that's his spot, if we need a right tackle right there, a guy that can go out there and do it, then put him there. Don't ask him to learn 2 spots right now. Have him focus on one spot where I know the game a little bit better right now because I've been here longer. So I can kind of pick up on a little bit of both, and I can make that transition inside and be a little bit more smoother.
Walker, why do you guys come to this field to start the fall camp?
Just a tradition. I mean, obviously a lot longer than I've been around, but they've been doing it for years. Come over here, you kind of, I think the mentality is you kind of got to earn it. You know, before this facility was here, I believe this was the practice field during fall camp. This is where they started every day. So after we got this really nice facility, you know, Coach kind of said you need to come over to Jervey Meadows, earn your right to get back into the nice facility that we have. So coming over here, it's just kind of like grind them up mentality. You got to get ready for Jervey, especially last night. We got out of practice. You know, I probably left here about 10 o'clock at late practice. Then I'm back up here at 6 for treatment. Back out here on the field at 9 a.m. So you know, you gotta have a different mentality coming out here.
It does feel different.
Oh, definitely, yeah. So. I don't know how to explain it. God blessed us today with the weather, but normally you come out here, it's 20 degrees hotter. You know, it's just a whole different world, and it's the mentality itself. I'm learning how to handle hard better as I get older. You know, coming in as a freshman, I heard, oh, you know, Jervey Meadows, you don't mess with Jervey Meadows. And so I'm sitting there in the meeting for Jervey Meadows, and I'm like, all right, this is real stuff. You know, I'm shaking. And then, like, as I get older, I'm like, last night I was like, all right, Jervey Meadows, like, I'm kind of excited for it now, looking forward to it. You see the younger guys kind of go through the phases. that I went through, so you kind of pull them along too, as the older guys pull me along.
When you tell people you spent the morning at Jervey Meadows, it sounds like a nice place.
It does, yeah. No, it sounds like a very nice place until you come experience it. And, you know, whether you're a part of it or whether you're just standing out here on a normal day when it's hot, when it's not cloudy like this, you understand Jervey Meadows, it's not a fun place to be.
Because when he calls this a road game during camp, does it feel that way?
Oh, it definitely does. It's away from home a little bit, you know. Over there, it's true. You develop, you know, habits, you know, whether you're in the indoor, you get in that mentality. Whether you're out on the field, you get in that mentality. You're comfortable with it. Where we only come over here a few days a year. So when you go back to Jervey, you got to have a different mentality. You got to remember how it was last time you went. You got to adjust to the different fields, you know, different grass, different everything, different setup. You know, it is like a road game. You got to get ready for going across the street.
What kind of development have you seen in Tristan since last year?
Tristan looks like a whole different player now. So he came in with a little bit of bad weight. I think he got too heavy in high school, but he's lost that weight. Re-put on muscle. He looked really good in the spring, and he looks even better now. We're watching him. You know, he's working strictly at left tackle right now. But his technique has gotten a lot better, and his want to is ridiculous. I mean, he's one of the top guys we have in terms of effort, wanting to get the job done, and he's hard on himself too. So we'll come in there, he'll ask me questions, you know, hey, I stepped this, I got beat across my face. He's always asking me questions like that. So Tristan Leigh, he's going to be a dog here in a few years.
How often are you repping at guard?
So today, Jordan McFadden had a vet day where he wasn't running any live work. So I pretty much did the whole day at right guard. So I got more reps today, but on an average day, so if we have 4 sets, I'll do 2 at tackle, 2 at guard. So just kind of half and half, split that up.
Walker, I think Tristan and Linthicum maybe both missed their senior year of high school,
Yep.
and they had to come straight here. What were they up against?
That's a very hard challenge for them missing a senior year of high school. I mean, that's a whole development period. Going back and looking at my film, watching myself junior year of high school versus senior year of high school, that's a whole different player. So now they're coming from junior year of high school, missed that whole year, coming straight into college. That's hard. That's really hard. Missing a lot of football like that, missing a lot of time to develop, get stronger, work on your footwork, just a mental process, everything involved. Like, that's hard for them, but they've adjusted well. You know, it might have been harder for them at first, but that's good because now they're ready and now they've both gotten better. Ryan Linthicum's another guy that looks like a whole different player out here this year. Even from the spring, he's made strides from the spring. He's going to be very helpful this year for us.
Usually offensive linemen could use a redshirt year when they start anyway.
Definitely.
Because it's so difficult and they're working on their bodies.
Yes,
So,
sir.
I mean, to come from a junior, basically a junior in high school to, you know, this league, pretty amazing.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And that's another thing that I had to say about last year is what I was talking about. You know, we have good players, and we have players that, you know, we're not bad football players because we had bad games, bad moments last year. I mean, as you said, you know, the normal transition for offensive line, you come out of high school as a senior, you redshirt, probably not redshirt, but then you're a redshirt freshman still working your way back up. Then you don't touch the field till junior, senior. Last year I was out there true sophomore. Marcus Tate, true freshman, his first game ever was the first game last year against Georgia. So you just have a lot of guys in experience that don't get that redshirt year. So we kind of got baptized by fire, but that's good. So like I said, it's helped us. It's pushed us a little bit farther than we know. We're more prepared now.
So is that what you meant when you said September 4th game when you guys weren't ready? Is that what you
Definitely,
meant by
yeah,
that?
definitely. So that's what we thought we were ready, but there was a whole different level that we hadn't seen. Because like I said, it's a lot different for me going out there. My freshman year, sure, I looked good when we're up by 40 points and I'm in there in the third quarter and those guys are tired. You throw it back, I mean, anybody can go in and do good in that. But then when you go out there first play of the game against a NFL defense, that's a whole different world. So I mean, we experienced that, learned that we weren't ready, and then kind of step back, watch film, and decide, okay, this is how we got to move forward. And we've been doing it, and we've gotten a lot better. We're still not perfect. We're not where we need to be at all, but we're getting a lot better and building on that.
I guess how did you see Marcus kind of absorb that year, getting trial by fire, missing mistakes? I mean, how do you feel like he went into the offseason and progressed from that?
He definitely went offseason with a different mentality. I mean, that's really hard to go in as a freshman. I think the hardest part about that is football is very mental, and it's hard not to be hard on yourself when you go into something like that. So coming in as a true freshman and playing like that, especially like the first time, you're thinking like, oh, I'm a bad player. Maybe I'm not built for this. When in reality, you got to step back, and that's what we said. Help them along, help each other along, because we all had bad games last year. But coming in as a true freshman, experiencing that's very difficult to do, and that's why he's going to be one of the most ready players in a couple of years when he's an upperclassman. And even now, going in as a true sophomore.
Was there a moment last year where you felt like the line sort of took a turn, you know, in terms of, you know, not being ready to sort of maybe gelling more and playing more cohesively as a unit?
Yes, sir. So I would say, so we ran the ball very well last year. I'd say as we moved on in the season, we had trouble early on. Pretty inconsistent in pass pro as we went on. Had some good games here and there. But really what I remember the most is Wake Forest, the last home game here. That's the first game that I really felt like we were working as a unit. We're all out there having a blast, and I mean, we ran all over those dudes. You know, beat them by a few touchdowns. We felt good, and that's the first time I felt we came together as a whole offense, not even just as a unit. That's the first time I really felt like, all right, this is kind of picking up where we left off. That's kind of like where we gained our momentum back.
Going back to Blake for just a second, other than the birth certificate, what is it that makes this freshman ready to kind of step in on this stage? He seems really quiet and intense and
Yeah.
doesn't say a lot.
No, he's definitely a quiet killer. That's what we joke around because he doesn't say a word. He's just kind of quiet, goes about his business, but his physicality is unmatched. He's out here finishing dudes. I mean, that's the thing. Even you don't have to be perfect. It's not always going to be pretty playing offensive line. You don't come out here and have to have the perfect block, drive him 10 yards, seal him or whatever. I mean, if you come out here, he'll run out here. Most of the time, he hasn't really had any missed assignments, so that's huge. But I mean, even if he does, he's coming out here trying to knock a dude's head off. So when you see that out of a freshman, and the fact that he's able to do it from a physical standpoint, that's extremely impressive from a guy that age. I mean, he just turned 18, so that's huge.
Side, how's he doing against KJ, XT, Maskell, guys that have played a lot?
Yeah, he's more than holding his own. I mean, obviously he's got progress to make, as we all do, but he's more than holding his own. He's done really good in the spring. He's done really good this fall, and that's why he might earn a starting spot on this unit.
How much motivation is it for you guys having that three-headed monster kind of right behind you guys?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, that's what there's no drop off at all. There's not like we don't look back. Oh, okay, we got somebody else in the game. You look back between Will Shipley, Kobe, and Mafah. I mean, I think we have the best running back room in the nation. I think we're going to be able to run the ball very well, and that's what even last year they saved us in most games. And we're out there, we can't block what we're supposed to worth of crap. And I mean, they're still hitting holes that aren't even there and busting for 40 yards. So. I mean, that three-headed monster right there, that's a beast, for sure.
This is a really random question. I saw a social media post of you next to a horse. I think the words,
Yeah.
I don't know what boots you had on the hat. Where were you? What was that?
So this last spring, actually, thanks to P.A.W. Journey, a program that we have here that helps us, I went out to Montana, I worked on a ranch when we had our 2-week break. So that's kind of like what I like doing. I grew up in Kentucky, around horses. I didn't grow up on a horse farm. I never really worked on a farm. So I didn't grow up a farm boy, but I've always dreamed of working on a ranch. I want to have a ranch. I want to have land one day, whether that's back in Kentucky, here, Montana, wherever. But I love doing that stuff. I love the ranch life. So I got to go out to Montana and be a ranch hand for about a week. That was pretty cool.
So what does that involve?
Hard work. So they had bad fires out there. So we kind of strung up. I mean, every day, wake up at like 7, go eat breakfast at 7:30. They'd be like, all right, come back at noon. So we go out and we'd switch off different groups. So it was like we rebuilt a barn that they had. It hadn't burned down, but it was old. And then a bunch of fire knocked down this barbed wire fencing that they had. So we'd go up. I mean, these mountains are steep. I mean, we're going straight up the side of a mountain. We're setting these poles in the ground. I got this 50-pound gas pounder, like running these poles in the ground. Then you walk all the way back a mile, run the first strand of barbed wire, go back, run a second, run a third. I mean, I got a lot of respect for these people. It was hard work. It was really hard work, but it was fun. I enjoyed it.
What was a gas pounder?
So a gas pounder, when you have one of these barbed wire fence posts, you put it in the ground. You can't just put it in the ground. You can't kick it because it's got these little prongs at the bottom. It's got to go down a certain part. And some people have a skid steer loader with an attachment on it that beats them in the ground. But obviously, the dudes that had been working and doing it had that. They didn't give us that. So I'm kind of saying it's literally got a hole on it. You put it over the post and you press a button and it sinks it into the ground, and then you carry it up the hill another 5 feet and keep going. So.
So you come back in better shape than you were.
Oh yeah. I was not ready for that. I was thinking when they said internship to Montana, I was like, all right, cool. I could go ride horses, be a cowboy for a while. And I was up there building fences. I was like, all right, a little bit different mentality, but I'll definitely go back. I thought it was fun.
Altitude's a little different too.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm asthmatic, but I mean, not asthmatic. No, I got up in that air. I was going up the mountain. I mean, I made it 15 yards, and I was like, hold on, fellas. I was like, I had to sit down a few times, take a few water breaks. The guys, which of course they had dudes out there that have been running and making those fences for 30 years, their whole life. They can do a mile in 10 minutes. I mean, we probably got like 5 feet in 10 minutes. So definitely a bit of an adjustment, but it's all good. I lived.
Does that horse have a name that you were posing with?
Yeah, it's called Blackjack. That was they said that was the mean horse out there. So they had a bunch of horses on these fields. They had these big old Clydesdale that I like. I want to ride one of those because bigger horses and all that. But they had a bunch out there, and they had this black horse out there that was kind of standing back. And every time they're feeding the other horses, this horse would come up and it'll like bite at their ears, like kick them out of the way or whatever, just cause chaos or whatever. So they called him Blackjack. So we were all like hopping over the fence there, like trying to tame him and stuff. So I got some like grass in my hand. I got out there and I fed him, and I was standing next to him. And I mean, I got a picture with him. Don't be fooled. I was scared to death. I thought he was about to kick me or something. But right now, I just snapped a picture with him real quick, and I hopped back over the fence real quick before he got after me.
So that was the last time you interacted with him?
Yeah, definitely.
Any other questions? All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.